Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. My name's Gabe Bowling, and in this video, we're actually going to be addressing a mistake that I take absolute full responsibility for in my last video. I'll put the link here. Go back, watch the video before you start this one, and let me know where the mistake was made, and then jump back into this video to watch the correction. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get started. So in the last video, I made a mistake on my math when I said that we sold the building for $12 million and we paid off the loan of $4.5 million. I said that there was $8.5 left over, but in reality, simple math concluded that 12 minus 4.5 is actually 7.5 instead. So instead of doing the returns based on the $8.5 million proceed that's left over, we will adjust to the $7.5 million and we'll still show you the returns. And I promise you, they're still going to look much more attractive than your everyday typical investment vehicle. So to recap, we bought the property for $8.2 million. We're increasing the rents from $1,008 to $1,400. We're actually at $1,500 over the next 5 years. We anticipate on selling the property for more than $12 million, but let's just run with the example of $12 million that we sell the property for. The first thing that happens is we pay off the loan, which in this case is $4.5 million, so less $4.5 million. Then this is the mistake that I made last time. We ran with the 8.5 versus the 7.5. So correction, $7.5 million is left over. And then what happens next is we send back all of the investors' capital, so less the $4 million that we originally raised. $3.5 million is left over to distribute between the general partners and the limited partners. And in our fund, we do an 80-20 profit split. So 80% of the 3.5 is going to go to the limited partners based on how much they own. And then 20% of it comes back to split between the general partnership, which is just me and Ken in that transaction. So $3.5 million times 0.8, you get $2.8 million back to the limited partners. And then $3.5 million times 0.2, which is 20%, about 700 grand would go back to the general partnerships in that example. And so now really looking at high level returns to the limited partners. Remember, the $4 million was the all-in equity that we invested into the property. And all in all, we had cash flow of 6% per year for 5 years. That is a 30% total return. 6 times 5 equals 30 over the 5-year period. And then if you take the net proceeds, meaning the 80% that we distributed, it was 2.8 of the $3.5 million that the limited partners received. So if you take $2.8 million and you divide it by the $4 million that was invested, you're going to find out your profit or the return on investment. So you take the 2.8 million and you divide it by the original $4 million that we invested, it comes out to 0.7. So that is a 70% return on the capital invested. You put in $4 million and you get back the 4 plus another 2.7 just from the sale. And so whenever you take into account both the cash flow that you're receiving every year, 6% a year over a 5-year period is 30% return on investment, plus the 70% return on the sale, all in all, it's 100% return on the capital invested over a 5-year period between both the cash flow and the appreciation. So again, I apologize and take absolute full responsibility for messing the math up in the previous video. It allowed me to create another video, and more importantly, it's the second rep you get to see while doing it and looking at the return. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this correction, and let me know what you guys want to see next time below. Hopefully I did not mess any of that math up, but I know that you guys will fact check it, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you.